Hi YouTube. So this is my first video for my channel, which I'm starting basically to help myself and leave myself notes as the other me did. So also because, okay, I have had the body for a month today, and I've had the body for a month today. So I've had a lot of time to kind of catch up on what the other me was doing with our life over the last 8 years. So basically, um, it's like this. I was a voice in her head, and now she's a voice in my head. And the other me did not realize when she took control over the body that she was a multiple, so she continued going by Cassandra, which is our real name. So she did all of this amazing stuff and set up a really amazing life, but she did not realize that she was a multiple or an alter or whatever terminology you'd like to use. And it is my opinion that alters are not meant to hold the body for that long, 8 years. So basically, she just held it for as long as she possibly could, and because of everything that she was able to research, I mean, she was absolutely a manic researcher and brilliant. Brilliant. I don't even know how I'm going to catch up with her. And I haven't been able to continue her work. So I'm really confused as to everything that's going on. I mean, the other me has a YouTube channel, which is where I got the idea to do this. I can definitely see that it was one of the ways that she used to learn and grow. And I definitely want to do the same thing, and that's why I'm making videos, because I've had a lot of trouble with therapists and things like that. And obviously from everything that is cooped up in my brain now, because memory is a really funny thing. Like, it's not like the stuff that she knows is all walled off to her. It's more like there's a huge bank of knowledge in our brain. And as long as it's not a trauma-related memory, we pretty much all have access to it when we get control over the body. So there's this huge amount of, like, knowledge in my brain now, and research, and all of this documented, like, research everywhere, this huge library, all of this stuff. And I don't even know how to, like, take her place, and I don't even know that I should really try. And I'm married. I've been, I guess we got married in 2012, but I've been with my partner and now husband since 2005. 2005. So we've been together almost 12 years, and I just find myself feeling really lucky that after everything that we've been through and that he had to live with, like, he still is with me, and, you know, I woke up and he was here. But I didn't just wake up. So what happened is that my last alter, which could be very much considered like a protective alter, who held the body for 7 or 8 years, basically, she became emotionally triggered. And even though she's like an orgone engineer and she does all of this stuff, basically that will not, orgone can make mind control not work and stuff like that, and it won't work unless you have the matching emotional frequency trigger. So anything that they were targeting her with wouldn't have worked until she was in the proper emotional state, and that eventually happened after 8 years. And she completely broke down. And so she tried to kill herself. I feel like if I don't say what she did, you're all going to ask me, or if anyone even watches this, someone's going to ask me. So I'm just going to admit it. My cat wants to say that. So basically, huge emotional trigger, like, bunch of stuff that was kind of traumatic happened, and she tried to kill herself by taking a bunch of blood thinners and then drinking wine and then running hot bath, and what else did it say on the paper? Oh, and slit a cut in our leg. And so basically, I woke up. She had left the body, or she had left control. She let go of control of the body, apparently, which gave me room to step back in, apparently, because it was like I was reborn. And I woke up in this bathtub of water and blood and in this situation. And I had, like, no idea what was going on. And I was very confused and very upset. Very upset. So, for this, my husband had no idea what was going on because he knew that we had dissociative identity disorder, but he had never really seen us switch this bad or this permanently and act like this. And so he really had no idea what was going on, and he called the police on me, called this fucking big, crazy thing. And so, like, I got a protection order served against me, and Justin wouldn't take me back until I went to therapy and this, that, and the other thing. And so, like, obviously, like, I think that the reason why I stayed and Casey didn't reassert herself is because she never would have agreed to go to therapy. In fact, she's still screaming in my head. It's like I have a crazy woman screaming in my head all the time. And she is always, like, arguing with Justin when he talks to me, but she's arguing in my head. And, like, just, and when I don't know stuff, she tells me the answer. So, like, I'm able to act normal because I have someone in there telling me what to say, for the most part. But it is all really confusing. And the worst part is that because I was gone so long, there's so many things that were done while I wasn't necessarily in the conscious frontal part of the mind that I have to live with all the things that my body's done and that I didn't necessarily do. And that's really awful. So I don't like people, which is one of the other reasons I'm on YouTube, because dealing with people in person is really hard for me now. I don't really like to be around people, and I've found that I've had this body for a month and everyone is acting like they're waiting for her to come back, and she doesn't want to come back. And now that she realizes that she was the multiple or a multiple, and that she feels like, you know, she overstayed her welcome or whatever, it's my therapist that I did go to see ended up kind of helping me figure some stuff out. That my name is Triss, and okay, back up. My therapist helped me figure out that basically I had left in 2008 after another traumatic event, emotionally and mentally, and all of this trauma. And so the last thing I remembered was being in a shower. And that was when she took over, and that was also when my life changed dramatically, and she started her own business and did this YouTube thing and, like, had this whole self-sustaining life going, and did really good at it for, you know, the last 8 years. But I left in 2008, and that was the last time that I had control over the body. So I hadn't even had my youngest daughter yet. Yeah, I woke up and I have 2 kids. And so obviously, like, I have soft access to her memories. So, like, the best way that I can describe it is that if I'm, like, viewing a memory that's not mine because I wasn't there for it, it's sort of like I'm a watcher. It's like a second-person memory. But if it's my memory, because it was me doing it, then it's like a first-person perspective, like through the eyes sort of memory, first person. It's completely different. So anyways, I'm able to have different memories of hers triggered for me, and able to kind of see what's going on a little bit and what I've done, and have, like, these flashback memories. And they're sometimes like, yeah, what are you doing? They're sometimes disjointed, like, that it makes it really hard to figure out exactly what happened, and I have to just take Justin's word for most of it. Because I have, the only thing I have really is the YouTube videos that she's done since 2012, which have helped a lot. And also, she kept journals really strictly. So I've been reading her journals, even though it feels traitorous of me. But I feel like we're all sharing this body, so we deserve to know what we've been doing. And now all these people are, like, waiting for her to come back, but she's not coming back. It's me here, because I was the original host or personality. I mean, I was here until 2008, and our original trauma happened in like 2003, 2004. So basically, there's a lot of stuff that I want to get into that I definitely don't have time for today. But I'm gonna talk about my experiences with trauma and my memories and what I've done to get my memories back, and a lot of what's going on, and my life involving like the Monarch Project and local pedophile rings and stuff like that. These are things that I've talked to my therapist about, and especially in terms of that my mother knew what was going on, and she was the head of CPS, or Child Protective Services, and she wouldn't let me testify in court to my stepdad actually ended up only getting 11 months in prison for gross sexual assault because he used trigger words on me to make me forget the real trauma, which has only come out in the last year to me, which it wasn't even me, it was Casey. She did all of these things to get her memories back. And so because of her, we've been able to start putting together our brain again and figuring out what happened to us. So I've been able to talk with my therapist a little bit about the trigger words and things that I have been able to get back, because even she told me, because when originally this came out, I told everyone that I didn't have sex with him, that I only gave him blowjobs, and he did like oral sex on me, and we smoked pot and drank and did all like pills and stuff like that together. But that's because at the time I was only 14 years old, and I had these trigger words used on me so that I wouldn't remember that he actually had sex with me. So if I did go to say anything, he only got 11 months in prison because I said that I never had sex with him, which actually wasn't true. But these are part of the Monarch Project pedophile rings, that they program you, and the dissociative identity disorder is much like a program itself. So basically, all of these things were used against me, and I do want to talk about them. And I don't want to do that whole talk today. I don't feel prepared for it. But these are the things that I am going to talk about, because I am finally ready to, and I'm not ashamed of what happened to me anymore. Because if I don't talk about it and we don't talk about it, this is going to keep happening, and it's still happening. And the only reason that my therapist did not tell me that I sought out a therapist and chose her because I was looking specifically for someone who would not just label me a fanatic or a person that lives in a fantasy world, which there are a lot of therapists, especially the ones that have been in the field for years, who are out there just to cover up the cause of what's happening to us. They are involved on the cover up. So it's really hard to find people who will actually listen to you and not just tell you you live in a fantasy world and everything that you're saying is made up. So I did that, and she actually told me that because of the other clients that she's worked with locally who are saying the same things, that she basically believes me and understands, and she can see how this all relates. At the same time, she referred me, I haven't gone back to see her because she referred me to another PhD. She said that she was going to speak with her supervisor about the best method for treatment for me, which I am not really, in terms of psychiatric treatment, there's nothing that I will accept, because I will not accept EMDR. I've been refusing EMDR since 2011. I know other people that have DID, and they have had their suicide alters triggered because of EMDR and stuff like that, and I think also that I don't want my triggers or my memories messed with. I'm not going to give anyone any reason to believe that they're false memories, and having someone mess with my brain and mess with my memories and mess with my triggers, I'm not doing that. I'm not even going to take the chance that I would be able to remember the things that I know from after. You know what I mean? Like, I am not going to take the chance that someone's going to wipe away what I've figured out. And I'm not going to let people mess with my triggers and my memories. So basically, Justin just wanted me to find someone to talk to, but there are no therapists out there that want to just talk to me. They all want to mess with my head. So I refuse that. And that's kind of why I'm here, also, is because I know that there are other people. I found there's a community online of multiples who live normal lives like I do. And no pun intended. But really, you know, we don't see ourselves as mentally ill. We're just multiple people in a body sharing it. And as long as we're not harming anyone, we shouldn't be forcefully medicated or have to do anything. Because, you know, just the hardest thing for us is feeling like, because we're not like the rest of the world or most of the rest of the world, everyone thinks that we need to be fixed, that we need to be like them. And we're not like them. And our, contrary to what a lot of physicians who have older information will tell you, you can do brain scans to see MPD. You absolutely can. And you can see where the little walled off parts are in most cases. And so, obviously, it depends on your level of DID or MPD. But in a lot of cases, you can see that in the brain. And it's just as obvious on an MRI as PTSD, because DID is actually like a further extent, a much, it's like, it grows off of PTSD, in my opinion. Because when I was 14, I was diagnosed with severe PTSD. And, but it took them, from then, that was like maybe 2004, it took them until 2011 to even see the dissociative effect in me. So we're talking about something that for almost 10 years or 8 years or whatever, you know, they're just going to think that it's PTSD. They're not going to really see it. And DID is one of the hardest things to get diagnosed with, especially if you use co-consciousness like I always have. And luckily for me, the other me, Casey, is really brilliant and figured out all of this, because up until this point, any time that we had switched, like, she was actually using the alters and switching at will. So when she didn't want to do something, she would send someone else out to do it. And that's just like mind-blowing to me. But she had figured out, you know, all of this eventually, and that we were multiples, but she thought she was the original person. But anyways, so it's all very complicated, and yeah, I get sidetracked a lot. But anyways, so my therapist has been able, she'd been able to work with me and help me realize a lot of things in the time that I spent with her. But the person that she referred me to was another specialist for military families, which I'm not on any books anyways, a military family. But it's really funny how every time I try to go to a therapist or a psychiatrist, I get referred to someone who specializes in military families and military cases. But that's also part of the Monarch Project. If you actually read the book, How to Create a Total Undetectable Illuminati Mind Slave, it's in there. And I'm really lucky because she read that book so many times that we have so much of that knowledge in our head. And that's one of the ways she was able to figure out the ins and outs of the brain, and how to use all of the alters, and how to stop the headaches too, like when we switch. So I don't know, it gave us a lot of help in that respect, and also realizing a lot of the techniques used on us. And from that book, she was able to start getting her memories back. And, oh, I don't know if I said that book is by Fritz Springmeier. But yeah, so this has almost been 20 minutes, and I feel like I should wrap it up because no one's going to listen to a talk longer than 20 minutes. But that's kind of like my introduction. We're going to talk about all of this in the future, and I just kind of wanted to like get out a little intro to me and how I got here, all of that. So yeah, I will talk more when next time. And if you guys have any questions, I guess, write them in the comments. Is that how this works? Welcome to United States of Tress. I'm Tress.